With a possible return and more, this is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Mentioning top names in pro wrestling that want to be a part of his promotion, Bloodsport, Josh Barnett told Good Karma Wrestling, well, it may surprise you, but a good portion of people that end up on the show beat the door down to be in it. And you, if I was to tell you everyone that was like in my ear for months on end, you would be shocked at these wrestlers. You would think like, why would they ever need to ask for that? And no, I'm not sitting back being like, yo, I'm just going to pull on their strings and string them along. It's all about what we can make work and what is possible. This is a wrestler's show, not about where they're from, but who they are. They were all upset that no one would cross promote, but now that it's happening, they're upset again. I don't get it. I just want to make cool matches with great wrestlers. Also, Barnett addressed WWE stars being involved in Bloodsport. This is a wrestler show, which is so surprising when, now I get a small amount of people pushing back, throwing a fit about WWE talent being on the show, and this one having the most that we've had so far. Everybody's wrestler is a massive line item in the total value of a company, and there's a bunch of money put into every single person that goes under contract. That's a ton of trust. I never really faulted them for not necessarily having wrestlers work Bloodsport. It isn't about it being indie or working with this group or that group. It's about me trying to put the wrestlers in the ring that I think would flourish and make great matches and that I'd want to work with. It's something that we were supposed to do, a Bloodsport during WrestleMania week, but then COVID screwed everything up. We haven't been able to go back to it since, and that's something that is still one of the highest priorities. Announcing his exit from the WWE ID program, Freedom Ramsey said this in a video on X.
Hey, I just wanted to share something. I am no longer with WWE ID. This did not happen publicly. Some things are just meant to be handled behind closed doors. I just want to keep it real with the fans who have supported me from day one, whether it was in small gyms or in the bright lights. So, WWE has always been a dream of mine. It changed me. Wrestling on WWE Evolve, training at the Performance Center, just meeting everybody I used to see on TV. Like, I learned, I grew, I developed. Now a new chapter begins, and I'm not sure what that looks like yet, but I'm gonna come into it with the same hunger that I did when I started professional wrestling. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you for riding with me. This journey is far from over.
With Shiloh Hill now winning an NXT contract on WWE LFG, he said this about it, telling Muscle Man Malcolm, absolutely, yeah. So as a whole, the season was like so amazing to be part of, so cool to be able to be on Undertaker's team, learn from him, all the legends, great coaching, great opportunities to wrestle in front of the crowd so many times and just learn, you know what I mean? And that's what the Performance Center is all about. That's what NXT is all about, just learning. So for me, a fantastic opportunity. At the same time though, yeah, it's a competition, and the whole season, like the one thing in my head was getting that contract. So when I found out it wasn't me, like obviously I am happy for Jasper and whatnot, but I was really bummed. And it kind of like took me a while to really process how I feel. At first, I was kind of just like, oh dang, you know what I mean? Then I went through a phase of like being like pretty pissed off. And then I think that was actually the most helpful, because that motivated me the most to like get better. During that same interview, Shiloh Hill revealed the origin of his wrestling name. It's pretty ironic. A lot of people, especially new people at the PC, think that Thunder is my ring name and Shiloh is my real name. But actually, Thunder is my legal name. Yeah, that's my real name. That was something I was wondering about when I got here, if I'd be allowed to wrestle under my legal name. I know most of the time they want to own the copyright to a name, so it's kind of a process. At the PC, it's pretty collaborative. You work with creative to come up with something. I actually liked the name Shiloh Hill. I've always liked the musician Shiloh Dynasty. Have you ever heard any of their lo-fi music? And I also really liked the game Silent Hill. So it kind of sounds like both. I just tried to mix them together. Revealing the strangest WWE merchandise made for him, Mick Foley told Casual Conversations with the Classic. Well, I think I even mentioned in my first book that I was shocked to see Stone Cold condoms. And I was like, you know, if you had a Mick Foley condom, that's double protection. Not only the condom itself, but the fact that when you pull it out and your partner's going, is that a Mick Foley condom? Well, yeah, hell yeah it is. Like, I suddenly don't feel like this is a good idea anymore. So it's dually effective. I think the toothbrush, for a guy who is known for not having teeth, was a pretty good one. I remember when I was working for TNA and I got my WWE royalty check, and one of my kids was like, "You still get a royalty check from WWE?" I was like, "Yeah," and they said, "What merchandise could they possibly have of you?" And I opened it up and they had like 100 items, you know, and this is 10 years after I stopped wrestling full time. Now I'd say there's a few hundred, and so I'm really grateful. In that same interview, Mick Foley recalled meeting with AEW's MJF for a retirement match that never materialized. Hey, listen, I had a top secret meeting with MJF about the possibility of having one last match with him, and he laid out like 6 really solid weeks of storytelling. When I put out a feeler about doing a final match, believe me, there was no shortage of guys. It was really from the deathmatch guys to MJF to Karrion Kross in WWE. There was no shortage of guys who were willing to do that match with me. Oh man, it doesn't look like it. It does not look like it. But I was just flattered. It was pretty cool. 2 Long Island guys meeting at a steakhouse. We didn't even take a photo of the situation, but it was cool. I mean, I don't want to tell you. It's up to him whether he wants to share his ideas, but they were good ideas. And if I could have carried it off, it could have been a really good 6-week program. And he's so good and such a great pro that he would have lifted my game on the microphone. We probably could have found a way to work around my weaknesses in the ring, accentuate the positives. Even if it wasn't a great match, I bet we could have convinced a lot of people it was. Touching on a rumor that he makes $2,880,000 annually for a WWE ambassador deal, Mick Foley told Casual Conversations, "I don't have an ambassador job that pays me $2.88 million as has been reported. I had an ambassador job for 2 years that paid me literally 1/14 of that. It's been rumored that I have this luxurious job, and I'm like, I don't think I'd be out on the road 200 days a year if I was making $2.88 million a year to be an ambassador. If somebody else has that type of job, good on them, but I just want to put it out. I love my relationship with WWE, right? I did an appearance for them at Royal Rumble, a signing. I'm doing an appearance for them at, you know, what the new version of Access is. And I have a Legends deal that, because WWE has seen fit to promote me as somebody of importance, is better than it was 20 years ago. Better than it was 10 years ago. So I'm really grateful for that relationship. But I don't receive $2.88 million. I receive $0 because I'm not an ambassador. Anywhere I walk, I'm kind of a walking billboard for WWE. When it comes to WWE potentially asking fans to not swear during live television events, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio, people have actually suggested this, of just like making an announcement of, hey, we're here, it's a TV show, it's going all over the world, we want you to have fun, don't swear because it's going to ruin the TV show. In the past, if they had done that, the audience would have then started swearing because they wouldn't want to be controlled. But I think this audience is mature enough and smart enough and everything like that, that if you told them that, I think they might be okay with it. That is something that has been suggested. I know that, but they don't do it, so you're going to have that stuff. Taking to X, former WWE and current AEW commentator Jim Ross posted a photo and revealed he is having surgery, writing, "Checked in for surgery. Time to kick cancer's ass. Out on its ass." Previously, Ross talked about dealing with colon cancer, noting on his Grilling JR podcast, "I got cancer, and I'll think of it in a minute. Isn't that something? I've separated myself from the specifics of this situation a lot, and I don't mean to do it. It just happens. I'm trying to think of that. Cancer of the what? I can't remember what I got. I got him in 2 places, and they're gonna take him out today. I believe today." Speaking about being able to make it for AEW All in Texas on July 12th, Ross said, "Hell yeah, I think so. Why not? The time to recover is not long. I think I'm actually getting a laser, guys doing surgery via computer, which is kinda unique, so I think I'll be up and able to go in a couple of weeks." With AEW All in Texas set for July 12th, WWE is planning to hold NXT The Great American Bash in Atlanta on July 12th. There will also be a Saturday night's main event on that day and the Evolution event on July 13th. During Raw this week, Paul Heyman, who is managing Seth Rollins, told the crowd to acknowledge Rollins. Of course, Roman Reigns is known for telling fans to acknowledge him, as this seems to hint at Roman's return to WWE programming. Reigns, as of now, is not advertised for the Money in the Bank event on June 7th, but is listed for SummerSlam weekend on August 2nd and 3rd. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.